Hey there, how's it going out there? We're doing a quick little Facebook Live. And Lucky the Rescue Cat is helping you out. What do you got to say? Anyway, we're talking about shoes. So ignore the cat. So I wanted to point out, especially now that I am done with Ironman Chattanooga, I've maxed out some of my shoes. So these are the points that I want to hit. I write them down because I totally forget while I'm just talking, totally ramble on. Hopefully you can read them. We'll go over them. But basically, while I'm walking here and showing you, we're going to show you the mess that is the shoe bin for my kids. But then you've got mine here. So that's the shoes I use for Ironman Chattanooga. As a new pair I bought, found them on sale. Unfortunately, kind of defeats one of the purposes of my bullet points. GT 2000 models. These, loved them, work great, but they're uh, edition 6. Now it's edition 7. And they're a little different. It's just kind of weird. But I wanted to point out the fact also, you go down to the pain cave. Follow with me here. Stay with me. Still here. It's just dark. Yes, we live with 3 kids. Life is like that. Got our little mini me trainer set up. Mine's real trainer set up. And then I've got shoes down here in for the treadmill. So I just want to make this point. So you saw I have a couple different pairs of shoes. I've also got one in my bag that I travel with because I like to not have to forget my shoes if I'm going somewhere and I'm a different pair of shoes that's not meant for running on treadmills or anything like that. When you get out there, it could be kind of cumbersome to not have a pair of shoes that are good for running. So we're gonna hit the points. Get straight to it. So the first point is track the lines on your shoes. So I use Garmin Connect on all 3 pairs of shoes I just showed you. I've got my treadmill shoes in the basement, and those are kind of the end of life rotation. So those have the largest mileage. So I put them down in the basement, nice and broken in to be on the treadmill. And then the medium range is in my travel bag, and my newest shoes are going to work in rotation of what I have here at the house. Then number 2 is replace them at 300 miles or 6 months. So about 300 miles when my shoes hits those, that's when they've kind of reached the end of life when I start having foot problems. So for me, it's time to chuck them, or sometimes if they're in good shape, I'll give them away as a donation or something like that. But usually when they reach about 6 months, the elasticity, even if you don't have 3 miles, the elasticity, gosh, I can't talk. The foam on the shoe on the bottom, you've compressed that so many times that it just kind of loses its ability to kind of rebound and reach back to the original form you to support you need. So even if you don't reach 300 miles, over time, that foam just kind of loses its ability to kind of bounce back. So the next tip: stick with a style and brand that works. So that kind of defeated my purpose upstairs when I showed you the GT 2000 from Asics. The version 6 worked great. They moved up to version 7. I was hoping there wasn't much of a difference. Put them on, and they're a little bit different. So it might hopefully, just takes getting used to a little bit more, break them in. Hopefully they come around because I loved the version 6, if only, right? So, analysis. If you have a shoe store that is kind of worth their salt, they'll do kind of a foot analysis. Sometimes they have some mats, or you can go to like a sports doctor, and they can kind of analyze your foot, your step, your pattern, to see if you have fallen arches, raised arches, pronator, supinator, and then they can kind of advise you on the best shoe styles. So that's something you can look into. Money does not always equal better. If you find, the latest pair of shoes coming out, $150, $200, that doesn't necessarily mean they're the best shoe for you. Like I showed you upstairs, those GT 2000s, that version 6, I think I found them on sale somewhere for like $70, $65 or something. It was a closeout sale. They're just having a clearance bin. I always check the clearance bins, man, because I love those things. So, just because it's the highest dollar shoe doesn't mean it's the best shoe. And number 6, if you run in your shoes, and that's how I've kind of determined that 300-mile mark for me personally, is if you run along and you got pain, stop. Don't keep running through the pain. I made that mistake and ended up plantar fasciitis for about 18 months I had to jack around with. So just make sure that if you experience pain, you stop. Don't finish your run. Don't, walk it home, whatever you got to do. Don't keep doing a run until you've run yourself into the ground. So that's the kind of the talk I want to go to today for shoe rotations. It's important stuff, especially when you want to keep longevity in your training, whatnot. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. See if I can reverse my camera. Oh, hey, there I am. So, if you got any questions, anything like that about shoes and kind of what I recommend, or if anything I said just doesn't make sense, or you want to call me out or something like that, if you don't think you agree with what I said, feel free to. Like I said, it's worked well for me. After I kind of learned my lesson, Ironman Florida 2017, switched my shoes out because they were giving me problems. Didn't listen to my own advice of stop running when you got pain, and kind of ran myself into the ground and dealt with plantar fasciitis for quite a bit of time. So, got any more questions? Hit me up. Have a good training day out there. We'll talk to you later.